Alright, so in chapter 6, we have learned few concepts. The first concept that we go through in this chapter 6 is what? Is the concept of bad debts. Alright, so for the bad debts, the double entry is we debit bad debts. Debits is an expenses of a company, and then we credit to trade receivables. So trade receivable is current asset under SOAP. So from this transaction, we can know that what is the impact of bad debts. Bad debts will reduce the value of your trade receivables. So how to define bad debts? Bad debts, we can say that is uncollected amount from our customer. Next, the next concept is called bad debts recovery. What is bad debts recovery? It means that those bad debts you have recognized in the previous year has been collected from the customer subsequently. So double entry, we have to debit our bank or cash account and credit to bad debts recovery. And what is the nature of bad debts recovery? The nature of bad debts recovery is our income. So we have to show in income statement. But take note, this must be a previous bad debts. Don't mix up this with the normal collection. Okay, normal collection we cannot say is bad debts recovery. The amount must be bad debts before, and then you collect subsequently. Then we can say this is bad debts recovery. Alright, so these two are quite simple and quite direct. So far so good. Can follow class? Can very good. Next, this one may be a bit complicated to you. This one may be a bit complicated to you. So this concept we call provision for doubtful debts. So in a simple words, what is provision for doubtful debt? It means that you suspect in future you have a bad debts. For example, you have 100 customers. Can you confirm that all the customer will make repayment to you? Cannot, right? It's very hard for you to have a 100% collection from your customer. So the management or the accountant, based on their understanding of the payment behavior of the debtors, or based on the percentage, they determine what is the future bad debts amount. So when we provide the provision for doubtful debts, right, we will apply a formula. So what is the formula? The formula is based on trade receivables minus all the bad debts, and then multiply with the rate of provision for doubtful debts. Here, why we need to minus the bad debts? Because bad debts is a confirmed bad debts. It's a confirmed amount. So when we estimate the future uncollected amount, those confirmed amount we have to remove from our calculation. So we should use trade receivables minus bad debts times the percentage. So in the question or in the exercise, if this is 0 or not mentioned, then you just put a 0. Right? So you just use your trade receivables times the rate, you can get the answer. So for the provision for doubtful debts, you have to do an analysis. Alright? So normally if this is a first year provision for doubtful debts, the double entry is we debit allowance for doubtful debts, and then we credit to provision for doubtful debts. Alright, so the first one is an expenses of a company. The second one is under current asset but negative. This is during first year. And after the first year, we have some difference. We have two situations. The first situation is second year increase in the provision for doubtful debts. Another situation is second year decrease in your provision for doubtful debts. So we look at the increase. If you have an increase in second year, the double entry will be same as the first year. We debit allowance for doubtful debts and we credit to provision for doubtful debts. Here, similarly, the first one is the expenses of a company. The second one is current asset but negative. This is the double entry when the second year provision for doubtful debts increase. So another situation is you have an decrease in your provision for doubtful debts. So what is the double entry when you have a decrease? First, we debit the provision for doubtful debts and we credit to allowance for doubtful debts. So you can by using a comparison, you can see that the double entry is totally different. So in this situation, this is also CA but negative. But the second one will become income for the company. The second one will be income of the company. So as a summary, when you're calculating the provision for doubtful debts, if this is the first year, the double entry will be debit allowance credit provision. And then if increase in the second year, the treatment will be the same. But if second year is having a decrease, then you will have an income. The double entries is different. Why decrease is an income? Because you foresee you have a lesser bad debts in future as compared to prior year. So if you have a decrease in the bad debts or decrease in the future bad debts, you make a gain. So this is an income. Alright, so you digest this comparison, this table. Alright. So far any question on the formula? Class, so far any question on the formula? No, how about this? Very straightforward, can understand? Alright. What means CA negative? Sorry, I'm using short form sometimes. CA stands for current asset. Why negative means that this amount will appear as a negative amount in the current asset. Okay, this is the explanation. So for others, do you have question? Yoo-hoo. No, all right. So if you have no question, then we can do one example, one question. Can you turn to page 103, home exercise 6.1? Home exercise 6.1. We are going to do this exercise. So are you ready for this? But before that, can you draw the ledger first? You are required to draw bad debts account, provision for doubtful debts account, allowance for doubtful debts account, income statement, and statement of financial position. So the sample is like this. For the bad debts, you can leave about 5 columns. Provision for doubtful debts, about 15, and about 10 for the allowance for doubtful debts. And the income statement and statement of financial position you prepare in this format. So we will show 2016, 2017, and 2018 together. All right, I give you 5 minutes. Please draw the ledger and also income statement and statement of financial position. All right, class, let me know if you have finished the drawing of ledger. So can we proceed? Can I? How about others? Have you finished the drawing of ledger? Why my year in the table the format still become that format? Are you refer to your assignment, Darren? Actually, you can adjust yourself lah. If this is not the format you like. Do you know how to do the adjustment? Really? So actually you can do the adjustment yourself lah. All you need to do is you just right click and then you go to the format cell. Then you can select the format that you want. Either is a percentage, numbers, or that, and you can choose lah what you want. You can choose the month first or the date first. All right. Okay. All right. Can we start? Yoo-hoo! What sign for multiple? Yeah, it's like a star. If I'm not wrong, you look at your keypad. Let's say you have the number pad for your laptop, right? This star is above 9. This star is above 9. Or if you look at your uh, the keyboard lah, you look at number 8, you also see a star over there. This one, right? Oisia, are you refer to this one? Should be on the number 8, same as number 8. You can get this if your laptop without a number pad. So you found it, right? Okay, very good. How about others? Do you have question? Yoo-hoo! Hey, guys, if you have no question, then cannot use X. You use X, you cannot get the answer. Let's say we try. Okay, we try. Let's say we put equals 8x. How much? 8 lah. You cannot get. Amazing. Try to familiar with Excel to prepare your account. So, any question? Can we start? I think ready, yeah? Alright, so let's look at the question. Paparazzi financial year ended is 31st December. The following are the details of the events from 2016 to 2018. So we have 3 years event, 2016 event, 2017 event, 2018 event. So based on the above information, please prepare the following account from 1st of January 2016 to 31st December 2018. So we have bad debts account, provision for doubtful debts account, allowance for doubtful debts account. We have income statement and statement of financial position have to prepare. So we look at the event one by one. We look at the first one. It says that trade receivable as at 31st December 2016 are 500,000. Before the recognition of bad debts 13,000 from one of its trade receivables. Before means what? You haven't deduct the bad debts, right? So later on we have to deduct this 13,000 as a bad debts. The management decides to set a provision for doubtful debts 8% based on the trade receivables. So we start from the first year provision for doubtful debts calculation. So this is 2016. So this is 2016. So we know the provision for doubtful debts. The formula is what? We base on trade receivables minus bad debts and multiply with the percentage. So for 2016, the trade receivable is how much? 500,000. The bad debts is 13,000. 13,000. And the rate is 8%. So 5,000, 500,000 minus 13,000 times 8%. So we get 38960. All right, 38960. 38960. 38960. So this is what? This is first year. So we follow the first year journal entry. The first year journal entry will be debit allowance for doubtful debts, and we credit to provision for doubtful debts. The amount is 38,960. Right. So now we are going to record this in our ledger. Class, am I too fast? Can you follow me? Can I? Right. If I'm too fast, please stop me. Right. If I'm too fast, please stop me. Alright, so we start recording. We follow the ledger sequence. First one, bad debts 2016. This is 31st December. We have trade receivable here, 13,000. This is first record the bad debts. Next, we have to record the provision for doubtful debts and allowance for doubtful debts. So we debit the allowance for doubtful debts. We write the opposite. What is the value? 38960. 38960. And then on the provision for doubtful debts, we write the credit amount. So this is the double entry. After that, we can close the account. So for bad debts, this is expenses of a company. So we transfer it to income statement. For the provision for doubtful debts, this is asset but negative. So this amount we have to carry forward to next year. So we use balance CD to bring the amount to next financial year. And lastly, our allowance for doubtful debts. Similarly, we have to transfer this amount to income statement as an expenses. Right, we have finished the first year ledger. Next, we have to reflect those entry in our income statement and statement of financial position. So we start from income statement. We have bad debts, 13,000. We have allowance for doubtful debts, which is 38960. And then in your statement of financial position, we have trade receivables. And then your provision for doubtful debts is a negative amount. So we have to write less provision for doubtful debts. For trade receivables, we have to use net trade receivables. So it's 500,000 minus the bad debts 13,000. So we get 487,000. And then for the provision for doubtful debts, we have to put negative. So our net trade receivable is 448,040. Right, pass. Can follow, right? All right, very good. So can we move to next year? 2017. Yes, stop me if I'm too fast. So in 2017, what are the things happen? Trade receivable as at 31st December 2017 is 490,000. The rate of provision for doubtful debt is 6% during the year. So for the year 2017, we did not see any bad debts. So very straightforward. 2017, our provision for doubtful debts is 490,000 and multiplied with 7%, 6%, 6%. What is the amount? 490 times 6%, 29400. So this 29400 is what? Is this year provision for doubtful debts. When this is a subsequent year, we have to do comparison. So we have to compare with last year amount. Last year amount is 38960. So class, tell me, as compared to previous year, this year compared to previous year, our provision for doubtful debts increase or decrease? Decrease, right? Very obvious, from 38 to 39. So we have decreased. Decreased by how much? We use 38960 minus 29400. Yes, decreased by 9560. So we know if our provision for doubtful debt decrease, this is an income for the company. So you can look at the comparison here. Decrease, second year decrease. So this is the double entry. So our double entry will be debit provision for doubtful debts. And we credit to allowance for doubtful debts. Value 9,560. Remember, we only record the difference. Alright, we only record the difference. Do not record 29400. If you record 29400, then your trial balance, your ledger will be wrong. You have to record the difference on it. I will show you why we can just record the difference. Alright, have you finished this? Have you finished this? Yes, huh? Right. Let's move on. We go to the ledger of the company. Ledger of the company. Right. First, we debit the provision for doubtful debts. The debt we put the last one. So this is allowance for doubtful debts. 9560. Yes, 9560. And then we credit to allowance for doubtful debts, description, provision for doubtful debts. Amount 9560. Alright, so we have finished the entry. So next we have to close the ledger. So we start from the provision for doubtful debts. So okay, where's the auto sum? Here. My credit is 38960. My debit is 9560. So what's the difference? 38960 minus 9560. So we get 29400. Yes, very good. Thanks, Jaja. And this amount we will bring to next financial year. 29400. And for the allowance for doubtful debts, we transfer this amount to income statement. Take note, if this is an income, the closing we close at debit, because when we bring this amount to our trial balance, it will become credit. 9560. So we have complete our ledger for the year 2017. Oh, this one. Sorry. Yes, this one. Okay. Thanks for highlighting this for me. So now we come to the preparation of income statement. So for this year, because of the decrease in our provision for doubtful debts, we have income 9560. No bad debts, no expenses in your allowance for doubtful debts. For the trade receivables, 490 and then 29400 negative. So class, let me come back to here. Why we can only record the difference? Imagine if you have changed this amount to 29400, so your balancing amount will be wrong. Because based on the computation here, this 29400 must be the amount appear in SOFP. This must be the amount appear in your statement of financial position. That's why in your ledger, we only record the difference. So our balance CD will be the amount as per formula. Take note. When you calculate the formula, this amount must be appear in your SOFP 29400. So it's this. All right. So can we continue? Yes, sir. So now we come to the final year. Right. Can I give you 5 minutes? You do it yourself. Right. So 2018 current receivable is 525. The management decides that the rate of provision for doubtful debt shall remain unchanged as compared to prior year. So if remain unchanged, this amount should be 6%. So for 2018, so what is the receivable amount? 525. So 525 times 6%. How much we get? 31500. This 31500 is this year amount. Last year provision for doubtful debts is 29400. So from this comparison, can you tell me our provision for doubtful debts increase or decrease? And what is the difference? Ooh, what is the difference? Increase, 39500 minus 29400. So it's 2100. And we know compared to last year, our provision for doubtful debts increase. So when your provision for doubtful debt increase, this is your expenses. Because we foresee more bad debts in future, and bad debt is our expenses. Next, we are going to provide the double entry with debit allowance for doubtful debts, and we credit to provision for doubtful debts. The amount is only the difference. The amount is only the difference, 2100. Right, the difference is 2100. So let's reflect this 2100 in our ledger. So we debit here. Debit the allowance for doubtful debts, 2100. And then we credit to provision for doubtful debt, 2100. And then we have to close the account. So my closing, the balance CD will be 31500. So my BD will be 31500. And this amount must match with your computation. This one. This amount must show in statement of financial position, SOFP. So next, we transfer this amount to income statement as an expenses of a company. So at 2018, I have a allowance for doubtful debts 2100 as expenses. My trade receivables 525, right? 525,000 and 31500 is the provision for doubtful debts. So we get our net receivables 493,500. So that's all for the home exercise 6.1.